Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and welcome to week update number 31. It's been a busy couple of weeks around here. Last week we had a bunch of fab work. This last week we had a family emergency, and as well as the work that still needed to be done and everything that I was committed to. The week before last we did shark cages again. Some of you guys remember us building these. We called them shark cages. They're just roll around carts. But here's us finalizing those. Just got a couple of quick photographs. And while the boys were fabbing over on one side of the shop, cutting, welding, grinding, assembling, doing fab work, I was over in the other side of the shop doing stunt machining at the unit. So I had a little bit of stunt machining to do, and a lot of plastic to cut, and then right at the opposite end of everything, you know, you're cutting all this Delrin and Teflon. It's so easy, and then throw in some 3/16 stainless into that with little tiny carbide. Every time one of those little pieces of carbide goes tink, it costs you $7. And I think I heard tink eight or 10 times. Carbide gets dull and it just breaks. No, you can't feel it. It just goes. So that was what's been going on with the shop work. We've been bouncing back and forth between fab and machine work. Stayed pretty busy. Here's something else funny. Some of you guys remember just recently I did a repair on Adam Booth's little scale holder, surface gauge type instrument. And gave that a quick regrind. And I was just making a joke. I called it Stan It instead of Stare It, you know, get it. And Quinberry took it to the next level and he made this for me. Okay, so now I'm getting close to infringing on a copyright there. All right, we're done with that. No more of that. I don't want to. I'm sure Stare It's got an army of lawyers just waiting to pounce on a little guy like me. Okay, let's do a mail call. This is a piece that I bought. I actually got it on Amazon. Let's go take a look at this little set I got. And okay, so we got a quick mail call here. And some of you may remember that I lost my collet stop. Well, you know what? I found it. This is a Hardin's collet stop. Now, this is one of the spring-loaded ones. And for those of you that have only used hard stops, these things are wonderful. They've got a, when your parts go in and index, you have to push in a spring, but there's a hard stop right at the bottom that it hits every time, adjustable here. And then when after it hits that hard stop, you're done with your machining and you release that collet, the part just literally comes flying out at you. So that spring in there is really nice to eject parts. So I found my collet stop, which is a great thing. But you know what it took for me to find my collet stop? I had to order another one. So let's take a look at this thing. I got this on Amazon. It's from the Breakheart Tool Company. This is a 5C collet stop set. Breakheart Tool Company, Tilton, New Hampshire. So hopefully this thing's not going to break my heart. And this is This isn't spring loaded. This is just a hard stop. But let me get this unbagged and we'll take a look at this because it looks like it's a pretty nice set. It does say proudly made in the U.S. right there. So let me kind of tilt you guys down a little bit, and we'll kind of go through it. But you know, for me to be able to find my hard hinge, I had to go out and purchase this. Because you know I never would have found it otherwise. So it's got a little wood block. Looks like pine. Center cut pine. And it's got a collet wrench here. And this is one stop with one size. And I think this is another size. Oh, here we go. These are extension tubes, so these probably all kind of go together. So there's another size. This is the actual backstop. Oh, I got two of those. Okay, two different lengths, maybe. Yep. And I've got little skinny mini there. So I've got what, 3 different sizes of ejectors. Kind of cool. And then I've got a long extension tube. I don't know what's in there with this. I've got a long extension tube that, oh yeah. Oh, it's got a nice big fat stop on the end, so that would be good for big, long parts, you know, that you need a good hard stop on. So here it goes into a collet. Let's make sure that thread's in there. All right, so that goes right in. This is a hard hinge collet. That's a pretty nice setup there. And that's going to give me the ability to put something very long all the way down in there. And the thing about this is these are supposed to be modular. So, you know, all these extension tubes, I'm supposed to be able to stack all these together so I can put together a big old long thing if you got really long parts. So let's see what this does. Oh yeah, see, these all go together. All right, so you can put together a big old long stop there if needed. And they sent me a wrench. Looks like just collet wrench, I guess. Nope. Oh, okay, yeah, it's a collet wrench for right there. So that's a good thing to get a hold of your actual collet. It's got the little flat on it down the side of there. But they don't give you anything to tighten these. I guess you just use a regular spanner hook type wrench to get a hold of those. But pretty cool. And actually very nicely machined. I can't even see that break right there. But believe me, there's a break there. See, there it is. So nicely machined, very concentric. It's nice. It's got a nice coating of tool black on it. And reasonably economical. This was about $70 on Amazon. So pretty nice. And I guess my tube's going like this and this. And my wrench goes in like that. And I got to put these in here maybe, huh? So there's my collet stop set. Pretty cool. So, and then I get the hard hinge on top of that. So there's your set. Less than $75. Breakheart Tool Manufacturing. Okay, and that's a pretty cool little set. It's all hard stops. There's no self-ejectors in there, but my hard hinge that I found is compatible with those. The threads are the same, and I can still use the hard hinge in that little Breakheart tool set. So completely compatible, and I've already used it a couple of times, and I'm really happy with it. It's a really well-made tool. If you want to check them out, go to breakhearttool.com. Go figure. Pretty cool. I dropped a quick email to them and told them that I was pretty impressed with their products and that I was going to be putting this on YouTube. And I asked in the email if someone mentions Bar Z or the YouTube community that if they would please honor the the Amazon pricing, which is very good. The Amazon pricing is outstanding. So you could buy directly from them at breakhearttool.com, hopefully by just mentioning Bar Z. I haven't gotten a reply back on that email, but go check them out. They've got quite a few little 5C and call it setups for all you 5C users out there. Okay, so that's part of the mail call. The other part is from 3 different people in the YouTube community: Devin Wolf, Dan Maschke, and Robert Anderson. Let's go take a look at what all these guys said. Okay, and this comes to us from Devin Wolf from Akron, Ohio. And I knew this was on its way in, but I wanted to share it with you guys. So this is vintage Mitutoyo combination square set. And it's still wrapped in all the Cosmoline and all the original paper. In the middle we have vintage Mitutoyo inclinometer. Vintage Mitutoyo stainless steel ruler, satin finish. God, I hate to take these out of the paper. Look at that. This is all factory packaged, possibly from the 80s. Square and 45. And this is going to be my center finder. So beautiful piece, beautiful set, all Mitutoyo, all NOS stuff. And I sure appreciate you sending that into the show. You will definitely see these on an upcoming episode. I sure went to a lot of trouble to pack these up. Oh, this was the pieces for a little surface gauge. Look at that. That thing is screaming Starrett right there. Look at that knob. Sure looks like a Starrett. Let's get in a little deeper, see what we get. There's the scribe. This should be the rod, which it is. So he's taken quite a bit of time to fix this up for me and get this packaged neatly. Very impressed with the packaging so far. Ample supply of bubble wrap. Oil, love the smell of oil. All right, this is the base for the surface gauge. And I think it is in fact an LS Starrett. If it's not an LS Starrett, it's a damn fine copy of one. It doesn't say LS Starrett on it, so it's probably not the original. It's got an inscription on the side that says Lee. It's got the old type rust bluing on it. 4 index pens on it. It's got the 4 retractable index pens on it. Right there, all in really good shape. So you can use those for a hard stop to check against things. So what a cool little surface gauge that is. Nice little set. Can't wait to get that put together, and that's going to actually go really well. I'll show you a little mini Starrett to go right next to it. There's his little brother right there. How cool is that? This one is dated 1890. Alrighty, thanks for sending that in. Look at all this stuff. Oh! Yeah, if you don't know what these are, I'm gonna have to draw you a picture of what these do up on the board. These are for pinching very small parts in the mill vise, very thin parts. And maybe I'll do a demonstration. The key to these things is this backside back here is about 91 degrees. It's just over 90 degrees. And what this is made for is putting in a mill vise and pinching down a very small part and leaving the entire top of the part exposed for mill work or drilling or whatever, just so it exposes the entire top of the work without without having to put a clamp on top and bring it down and put a clamp right in your way to work. I have a larger set of these that James Green sent over, but now I have a smaller set. So this is, and it's been run into once. Someone got into it with a mill, but that's pretty common. I've done it myself. And these are the Lufkin Rule Company, same thing. So somebody plowed into it with a piece of carbide. And last up, let's see what's in this little hoo-ha here. Oh yeah, thread gauge, that's right, I remember seeing that. And this is an old Helios. It's German made. And Helios makes really good stuff. My favorite protractor is a Helios. I've got a couple of Starretts kicking around here, and they're okay. They slip, but my Helios holds very strong. So, nice set of thread gauges. These are all Imperial. These have a range of 42 TPI, all the way down to 4. So that's the T-Rex of them all right there. Yarg. All right, so that's pretty awesome. And Devin, thanks for all this. Dude, you're awesome. Love your packing, and look forward to using these on the show. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, here's an addendum to a mail call. This is a box that came in from a Dan Maschke, and he is in Barron Springs, Michigan. I think MI's Michigan, or is it Minnesota? MI, I'm not sure. Packaging. Well, he's got it wrapped pretty good. He's got it double wrapped here. There's one. Oh, he's got the accessories. Look at that. He's got the wrench and the extra tip. I think you know what's coming. That's the wrench to change the tip. Oh, he took the tip off. How clever. All right, that's awesome. Wow, that thing is perfect. All right, that's a Brown and Sharp best test. 1/2 tenths indicator. Each increment is a 1/2 tenth. See if the camera will focus on that. What a beautiful piece. And he did take the tip out of it, but he sent me the tip here. And I can tell from the color, that's a carbide ball out on the end. That little dude right there. Let's see if I can find some glasses. Get this thing screwed in here. Okay, she's in. Oh, what a beautiful movement that is. All right. And then we're going to take our little wrenchy. I think I got some old cases I can get in this thing too. And a wrench, I think it's the little one. Yep, right there. Just put your wrench on that little tip. Don't go gronk with it, just give it a little tweak, just enough so it doesn't have any slop in it. Okay, what a beautiful movement that is. And it's even got the dovetail fitting there. I'll pop that off and put it on a surface gauge, and I love the resolution on that. Okay, Dan. You got a deal. All I got to do is get those ground up and on their way to you. All right, there was no letter or anything inside, but sure appreciate you taking the time to box that up and send it into the show. Okay, we got a little cleaned up. And another bit came in from Robert Anderson. He sent me over his card. He's the owner over at Anderson Metal Art. And he sent a nice letter. Hey Stan, here's some of my business cards. I have a Facebook page called Anderson Metal Art where you can see some of the stuff I make for sale. Thank you for all your videos and keep them coming. Your YouTube friend, Robert Anderson. So thanks, Robert, and I'll put that in my my card collection. I keep cards from, when you guys drop off cards, I put them all in a notebook and keep them here in the shop under YouTube. Okay, well, I'd sure like to thank all you guys for packaging all that stuff so neatly and sending it over to me. That's wonderful. Dan, I'm getting a set of squares ready for you. I actually have them right here, ready to grind up. They're getting ground tomorrow. So that's all my incoming. Outgoing, I had a Canadian shipment, and it was kind of interesting. My old DRO, it was sitting on the bench, and I was kind of tired of looking at it. It was still fully functional. I went on Facebook and I said, first one to reply with the word mine, I'm going to give it to you. You pay shipping. A gentleman by the name of Brian Anthony got it, and he lived in Canada. So I said, okay, let me get a crate together and we'll figure out what the cost on it is, and then while we're at it, let's see if we can get some, some of the Barzy channel swag, which is decimal equivalent charts and anchor lube samples and all that. Let's get it up to the Canadian folks, which included Colin Chapette, Kelly Breckenridge, Chris Bellet, and Pierre Baudry. We wanted to get, and I think a couple more too. I couldn't find any of the other names. I went back on Facebook and couldn't find any of the others. But we wanted to get some of the swag up there. Wanted to get some anchor lube across the border. And we packed a big crate, cry once, and got it to Brian, and he distributed it from there. So let's go take a look at that shipment after it finally landed at his place. Okay, so the Canadian shipment went well, and we got that stuff up to you guys. Hope you enjoy. Next up, we've got tool grinding, which is for Mr. I.L. Gopher. And this is the last of his tool grinds, and these are compound angles. First of all, we're going to get into the math. I know it sucks. And then we're going to, after we've gone through the math with pencil and paper, we're going to prove that this formula works. And we're going to use two different angles. We're going to grind 30 degrees on one, per side, for a 60 degree included, and then we're going to grind 45 degrees per side for a 90 degree included, both with a 15 degree clearance. And we're going to grind them with the tool straight first at the absolute angle, and then we're going to tip the tool sideways, adjust our primary angle, and then grind our secondary angle, and those two lines should converge in parallel. Let's go take a look at the pencil and paper and kind of demonstrate it, and then take it over to the surface grinder and do it with a felt pin on it and watch the line disappear. And that's how I proved to myself that the formula worked. So let's go dive into that. Okay, I'm going to go through the math with you on a couple of different tools. The first one, I got the other one written on the other page, but the first one we're going to do the 45 degree tool, which is here. And from the top down, that thing looks like it's just 45 on each side. But if I expose this side, you'll see that this is a very straight grind. And you can see that breaking point right here is just straight across. But if I flip the tool over, you can see I've done a multiple angle grind here, straight across. And you'll also please notice this red line right here. Now, and what I've done to prove that this works to myself is I just did a single angle grind. I elevated the plate 45 degrees, put the tool on at 0 degrees, and just made a 45 degree grind, both sides. And then I switched my sign plate over to my corrected angle. In this case, my corrected angle is 46.05 degrees. And then I raked the tool back at my 15 degrees clearance, and I ground it. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring it up and prove to myself that those two angles were gonna converge on the main angle in parallel. And that's what the red line is. As you can see, we are very parallel. I'll try to get it in close so you can see that. Okay, let's go over the math. I know math sucks, but let's go over the math, and it's actually pretty easy. And it's tangent of your primary angle divided by the cosine of your secondary angle, and that's going to give you your correction factor. In this example, this is a 45-degree tool. It's tangent of 45 divided by the cosine of 15. So 45 being our primary angle and 15 being our secondary angle gave us a correction of 1.057 plus our original 45 degrees gave us a corrected angle of 46.057 degrees. So that's how far, if I'm going to rake this tool back at 15 degrees to make that grind, if I'm going to put it on the plate 15 degrees offset, I need to elevate my plate farther beyond 45, and in this case it's 46.05. And I even took it out to a gauge block stack. So then you calculate your sine. The sine of 46.05 is 0.7200 times 10, which are my sine rolls. This is inches. Times 10 inch, that's my sine roll to sine roll, gives me a gauge block stack of 7.200 for my gauge stack. Now that's that's going to get me my 46.05 degrees. I can rake the tool at 15, and there the proof is that we've converged those lines. Now let's look at another example using the same formula, and I've got that on the next page. I've already taken the time to write this out, and this is on a 60-degree tool. So we're only calculating one angle at a time. So half of this is 30. That one was 45. This one's 30. So again, it's a tangent of 30 degrees divided by the cosine of 15 degrees gives us a correction factor of 0.6022 plus our original 30 degrees gives us a corrected angle of 30.6022 degrees. Now the flatter you go, the less the correction factor is. The steeper you stack that thing. And here I brought it all the way out to a gauge block stack again. My corrected angle is 30.602. And we're going to calculate the sine of that, which is 0.509 times 10. So our gauge block stack is 5 inch and 90 thousandths for a gauge stack. And here again, I did the same thing. This side is a straight 30-degree grind. Gauge block stack set for 30 degrees. And you can see our break line is 90 degrees from the tool. But on the other side, we did our multiple angle grind, and we wanted to see this secondary angle converge in parallel with the top of the tool, because when you look straight down this tool, there's 60 degrees, 30 degrees per side. So that's the formula. I've tested it about 5 different ways on 5 different angles, and it hits every time, and you come into parallel every time. No matter whether you're doing a real steep 45 or a real flat 30, or maybe some Acmes or whatever, but it seems to be this formula's working good to hit your multiple angles. So it's pretty easy. It's tangent times your primary angle divided by the cosine of your secondary angle, and that's what gives you your correction factor to adjust your primary angle. All right, let's do a demonstration on a magnetic plate. Okay, so this last little bit, I'm going to turn the coolant off and grind dry. I need to get it a little farther out of there so I can get a mark on it. And I'm just coming up on my original angle. It was my original 45, straight 45 grind, and now we have the plate tipped at a corrected angle. So I'm just going to mark that and grind up to it. And I'm going to grind dry so you can see, and the coolant doesn't wash away the ink, hopefully. And we're going to watch that line disappear. I'm going to try to make it disappear as slowly as I can, but it all goes away at once, that's for sure. So let's roll with it and see how we do. Wow, I hope you can see that. Over here, there's just a faint black line, not much. Let me see if holding a piece of paper behind it helps you see. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I think another couple tenths of downfeed and that thing's just going to disappear all at once. Let's do a little more and kind of follow the progress. It's burning a little because I'm not flooding it with coolant, but these are only 2/10 downfeeds. All right, here's another 2/10. Still there. It's probably going to disappear all at once. Okay, there's another 2/10 coming back. She's getting thinner. 2/10. Yeah. That thing's like the edge of a razor blade now. Let me do my paper trick again. I don't know if that's working for you. I'm using the GoPro here, so I have no viewfinder. But there still is a visible black line. I've got my glasses on and I can see it. I don't know whether you can or not, but right up at that top edge. And it's just like the edge of a razor blade. So I think another tenth or two and that's going to disappear. Yep, that looks gone to me. This stuff is horrible to cut dry. Yep, she's gone. Okay. Well, let me let this thing kind of spark out and kind of clean it a little bit on the way across. Okay, tool done. Okay, I got it aimed in on that diminishing line, that little parallel line right there. And I'm grinding the rest of this dry, and that's my red felt pen. I'm just going to grind it till it disappears. This is the 60-degree included angle, so this is a 30-degree angle. The grind's going to be ugly because it's dry, but I want you guys to see that line converge, the two angles converge into each other. Maybe that's a better view of it there. We're going to come down a couple of tenths and come back. Hopefully that backlight is getting it for you. A little more. And it's down to a razor's edge. there, she's gone. And like I say, the grind doesn't look great, but passing that across a final hone, that'll straighten right out. Alright, I'm just going to make a spark out pass on the way back here, nice and slow. Get rid of some of the bumps. Okay, so there you have it. There's 30 degrees and an adjusted angle and a true 30 degree converged into each other. Okay, well that's the last of Mr. Isle Gopher's tools. Those are on their way over to him, and I hope you, Ryan, I hope you enjoy those. That's it for this week's update. It's been a heck of a busy week, busy 2 weeks, and we've got things to prepare for. I will let you take note of what's up on the board. There's probably some familiar names up on the board over there with a date next to it. And that's just a teaser. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, what it's for, or what we're even doing. But take a look at that date and those names up on the top left of the board. All right. Appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.